What is up? We're out here on this Sunday morning. Beautiful weather. It rained last night, so it's like nice and 80 degrees today. I just did the warm-up. I don't want to bore you guys with the warm-up. It's about an 80 round warm-up where I do the one-shot return. I do the confirmation 1, 2, and 3. Still not 100% there with the Glock as far as getting on the trigger as fast as I want. Yeah, I did that. Chronoed some new rounds. I'm currently running some DG bullets. They're 145 grain bullets, and I'm shooting at about 132 power factor. I think I like it around there. I wouldn't mind going down about 130, but 132 is kind of where I've always been. So I might just keep that load and call it good. I pretty much just use that same bullet for nationals. So that'd be kind of cool. If I could load my nationals rounds, I got it all chronoed, ready to go. 132 gives me a nice little buffer, though I don't think it's really needed. I like to get the bullets running closer to about 900 feet per second. They're averaging about 911 feet per second. So I'd like for that to go down just a hair. 130 is kind of where I feel the safest, right? I wouldn't really want to go any lower than that. That's partially why we reload, right? To get a consistent load going at the speed that you want for the gun that you're using. Last weekend, I shot a double header match, which means I shot 2 matches in one weekend. It was July 4th weekend, and ended up going down to XMG on July 4th. Did pretty well down there with the Glock, competing in limited optics. The scores got fucked up. On one of my stages, my scorekeeper forgot a 0, and they ran me 5 seconds faster on that stage than I actually ran it. I ran it in 20 seconds, but he forgot a 0 at the end, and they marked me down officially on the score sheet at 25.90, but it was actually 20 seconds and 20.59 seconds. So if you do the what if scenario and correct just that mistake, I would have came in 7th. At XMG, that's pretty good, but that's right in line with some master shooters and some grandmasters that aren't masters in limited optics. I had a questionable double, which I wish I could argue with certainty that it was a double on the classifier, but they marked me as a miss. From my POV video, man, it looks like the muzzle's pointed right at the same. It doesn't look like the muzzle's, when the muzzle fires, that it's pointed off target. It looks like it's at least on the paper, and it looks like it's in the Charlie zone, but my RO called it as a Charlie Mike, which made me have a B class score. Just with that Charlie though, it would have been like a 83 or 84% run. Whatever. I've given up caring. I'm just shooting matches, getting ready for nationals, and getting this Glock kind of good to go. Speaking of, right, so this Glock that I've been using, it is near its final form, I think. You know, to recap with you guys, it is a Glock 17 Gen 6, and the goal was to keep it, I mean, game it up a little bit, but to keep it somewhat stock. We'll go over the changes I've done on this Glock 17. So starting up here, I put a ISMI Glock 19 recoil assembly with a 15-pound recoil spring. Stock is 18. This makes the recoil a little less bouncy, but it's still way quicker to return than my 2011, right? Quicker to return than my Shadow 2s and my Stock 2. So still very quick to return to 0. Up top, I knocked off the iron sights and have a Holosun 407 comp on it. This does have the 6 MOA, which I'm kind of getting used to. I don't mind it. I've now shot 2 matches, 3 matches with it, 4 matches, shit. And it's great. I don't mind the bigger MOA dot. The only time I really mind it is at distance when I'm shooting like 25 yards, because it pretty much covers up like the entire target, especially if I'm shooting like an IPSC target or like a steel. Man, it just covers up the steel. But at the XMG match, they had maybe like a 20-25 yard popper with a no shoot behind it. Nailed it. No misses. The dot was just there. Staying on the slide, I did change out the striker spring to, I had a 4.5 pound spring on there, but it was causing some light strikes. I moved up to a 5-pound spring, so it's only a half-pound. I think these come stock with 5.5-pound springs, but this is a 5-pound striker spring. It did loosen up the trigger pull a little bit, though it did make it less crispy, which I don't mind a rolling brake. I don't sit there and ride the reset, and I need to feel that. At speed, you never feel the wall. Like if you're feeling the wall, man, I think you're almost shooting a little too slow. Maybe at distance you can, but even then it shouldn't really matter. And then on the inside, I have a minus connector from Overwatch Precision. And then I have a polished OEM trigger arm. The trigger is the Gunco SS trigger. It's the gray with the brass safety switch. Oh, and I have a brass plug to add a little bit of weight. One thing I do have on order that I don't have here yet is the Glock store brass back strap and plug, which will add another ½ ounce to the back of the gun. I'm really curious to see how that'll affect the gun and the balance of it. But right now, man, the gun, I think it's kind of 98% there to like what I think I'm going to just keep at and take the nationals. So I will be getting a second gun and building it similarly, and then picking a match gun. But, oh, and then my grips, dude. So I had some handle it grips that kept failing at practice and at matches. So I bought some black diamond skateboard tape, and I made my own little pattern, as you guys can see. I really only need grip back here and then here. So I would like to have some up here, but I keep pushing that forward. So I opted just to kind of keep it here, which is enough. I like to keep this side of it bare, so in case I need to move my hand around, it's not gripping me that much. So yeah, I made my own pattern of grip tape, and I really like it. I did it after the match also, so we'll see how it holds up today. So one thing I don't like about this ISMI spring, it's got this little capture cap right here that screws onto the end of the rod, and no matter what Loctite I put on it, red, blue, whatever, it'll start unscrewing itself after a few hundred rounds. So you'll see me out here every once in a while start screwing it back in. I don't know why it does that. I wish it didn't. I might try to find an alternative rod, because I don't want to have to ever worry about that. Seems silly. Or find like some really strong Loctite. I'm using the red, and that's still not holding. I put red on it last night, and it's already coming loose after, I don't know, 120 rounds or so of today. This is kind of close to being done. I will make an update when the Glock store brass backstrap comes in. But besides that, man, it's kind of staying. Everything else is stock. Every other spring is stock. I'm only minimally changing some stuff to make the trigger brake a little bit better. The striker spring and the OEM connector. Of course, the recoil spring don't affect trigger pull, but everything else is stock. I'm trying to keep it that way. I'm not trying to go too light on this. I'm just trying to, make it a little bit lighter. It's still a Glock trigger. You know what I mean? It's still going to be way different to shoot than my damn 2011. But yeah, that's kind of the update. A bunch of you guys have been asking in the comments, and kind of where I'm at right now with this gun. What we have set up out here today, a bit of a movement drill. I have a mirrored target array, no shoot steel open, similar but mirrored on this side. And the goal is to kind of mimic what I've been working on in my backyard in practice. Moving, getting the gun up pointed before I stop, doing a 3-step entry, coming in on a no shoot, hitting steel, and then going out there and shooting maybe like a 15-yard shot, and then going to the other side, mirroring it. I put the no shoot on that side, so I'm going to be working the 3. That's one thing that I want to keep in mind, right? Is I want to be working the 3 confirmations all the time now and be very aware of them. Of course, this will be confirmation 1. That'll be confirmation 3. That'll be confirmation 2. That should be confirmation 1 over there, the stacked no shoot, because it's so close, but that might be like a 25 split over there, right? I'm talking about that target right there. That's what we have set up today. I don't know how many rounds I'm going to shoot at it, but I'm going to do different variations of running back and forth. I might start in the front, might start in the back, move into position, might throw some reloads in there. Yeah, trying to work on execution. Yeah, so that's one thing we're doing out here, and I think kind of moving forward, thanks to my man V-Man Shooting on YouTube. he was like, you should work on your execution a little more, since that's kind of what I'm struggling with to keep consistent. Because man, I'll shoot a 8-stage match and have 2 or 3 that I dip below like a top 10 finish, but the rest are consistently pretty good. But keeping that execution high is important to stay consistent. One thing we're doing out here is we're taping after every 1 to 3 runs to slow it down and kind of just really work on shooting like I'm supposed to at a match. We're gonna start loaded and hot. We're gonna move into that position, shoot 3 targets, move off the position, shoot 3 targets right here. So this is a 10-shot drill. Two alpha, 2 alpha, 2 alpha, alpha Charlie. We've got alpha Charlie, 2 alpha, alpha Charlie, alpha Charlie. All right, so I could tell that the missed shot down there was I loosened the grip up a little bit, and that's what caused the Charlie hit on the left. This one, it was recoil into the left. 2 alpha, 2 alpha here. This one was also recoil alpha, recoil Charlie, 2 alpha. All right, we're gonna do one more run, and we're gonna look at targets. We've got alpha Charlie, 2 alpha, and 2 alpha. So that's target 1. You paste them all if you want.
Just came to say hi. I didn't want to shit on your production.
Oh, you're okay. See, that Charlie down there was in recoil. First shot was an alpha. Second shot was in recoil, me thinking about leaving the position. Down there, 2 alpha, 1 a little too close to the no shoot. Not bad though. And over here had 2 alpha, shooting them pretty tightly. I had a miss on steel, and that's just me losing like trigger discipline there. Let's do a few more runs. Two Charlie, barely. Alpha Charlie, 2 alpha, alpha Charlie. Popped off too early over here. Charlie, alpha Charlie, alpha Charlie again, close. 2 alpha, 2 alpha. All right, one more run. Miss on steel over here. Lost a little bit of visual patience on it and rushed the trigger press. So let's go again. Oh. High primer strike there. That is a light primer strike. Primer is a tiny bit high, but for practice ammo, this is fine. It's right now performing maybe 95%. My match ammo will be loaded with primers, not so hard. All right, we're gonna tape it up and go again. Two alpha, alpha Charlie, alpha Charlie, alpha Charlie. That was the fastest shooting I've done today though. That transition to steel was great because it was almost luck, because I locked on my eyes, saw a flash of color, pulled the trigger right on time. Worked out great. This was first shot Charlie, second shot alpha. Oh, fuck. Two alpha, alpha Charlie, 2 alpha. Nope, alpha Charlie, alpha Charlie. Haven't had a clean run yet. It's all right, we're pushing. I see where they're coming from, so I just need a little bit of visual patience. Alpha Charlie. Alpha's on the rest. Nice and aggressive. 717. That was the best run yet. Nice and aggressive. All right, let's tape them up. All right, this time we're starting in front of the stick, moving backwards, but finishing the same. Woo, worst rep yet. 2 Charlie. Charlie Mike no shoot. Alpha Charlie to Alpha. All right, we're gonna keep that as a reminder there, not to do that again. That was rough. Looks like we have a Mike on the approach and a Charlie hit. Alpha Charlie to Alpha. All right, we're falling apart a little bit, but that's good. Let's try to lock it in here. We're still pushing speed. All right, a little slow there. Alpha to Charlie. Alpha Charlie. Maybe to Alpha, Alpha Charlie. To Alpha here. All right, so we're reset. We're gonna do same thing, but going the other way. Motherfucker. All right, 2 Alpha, Alpha Charlie, Alpha Charlie, Alpha Charlie. Losing it a little bit. Two Alpha, Alpha Charlie, 2 Alpha, 2 Alpha. All right, cleaning it up. Lost a little visual and trigger discipline on that steel. Cleaned it up, and that would have been a pretty good run. Should have called that one. I did, but should have made that one up. Low Charlie, almost Delta. Should have not been thinking about ending the drill and just making it up immediately. Great run otherwise. Came back from the dead on that. So, like Micah just said, we're gonna work on making this beginning part more aggressive. We're gonna come in on the move almost, 1, 2, and right when we're finishing the settle, this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we move. Well, Micah pointed out here that I'm losing time on that area, so we're gonna try to keep that in mind, going both directions. There we go. Yeah. That was more like it. Did I have a, nope, 2 Alpha there. Missed here, but that was still kind of, the drill really nailed it well over here. That should be that aggressive all the time. I mean, just that right there. My fastest run was a 717 earlier. That was a 668. So I knocked off half a second pretty much by just blending those a little better.
Last thing is, don't wait to hear it. Watch it move. When the plate moves.
Yeah.
There you go.
2 Alpha, 2 Alpha, 2 Alpha.
Eyes were there.
2 Alpha.
Call, you can make up the miss.
Yeah. I'm being impatient on that, and as soon as I see color, No matter if it's on the target or not on the steel, I'm letting it fly. All right, last mag set here, and then we're done for the day. I might throw some reloads in. All right, really solid grip on that. I didn't drop the gun down at all. I just kept it pointed. That's something else I needed to do instead of dropping it moving. There's no need to do that. I think I could get on the shot faster because I could be pointing at it and shooting from here, which would allow me to blend these two faster. Not too bad on this one. Lost it a little bit over here. Alpha Charlie, miss on steel. Let's throw a reload in. Had a delta out there. Losing visual focus a little bit. Let's work on the reload again. Much better. Cleaned it up. Eyes were there. Okay. We're not going to tape up. We're going to keep rolling until it's over. No reload. Keeping the gun up. Coming back over here. Ooh, lost it a little bit. Not too bad though. Alpha Charlie. 2 Alpha. Alpha Charlie. Alpha Charlie. Fuck yeah. One Charlie. Looks like 2 Charlies down. Pretty good. All right, concentrating on staying locked in visually, getting a good grip off the draw. We got a really close no shoot down there. All right, we got about maybe 5 more runs. Thought I saw a delta. Hit a no shoot on that one. Down there. This might be the last run. Yep, last run. There we fucking go, dude. Fuck yeah. Alright, y'all. Sorry that got a little dark. Alright, guys. That is it for me out here today. Appreciate you guys watching the Glock content. You guys seem to really enjoy that content. I've been having a lot of fun shooting this Glock Gen 6. National is going to be a blast. The gun is super fun to shoot. The Glock forces you to lock in and perform. When you don't, it really punishes you, as opposed to like a 2011. It allows you buy performance, literally. You don't buy performance in that way from a Glock. You do in the sense that they run very well, but they also require you to stay locked in more than a 2011, which both have their advantages. I think if you can achieve the same level of being locked in with a 2011, like keep the same mentality and put it on a faster gun, man, then you could just soar, right? But we're kind of using the Glock to bring the floor up. I am getting stuff together for nationals. Got the VRBO booked. I have to buy a second gun and build it up just like this one now that I've got this one kind of figured out. as a backup gun, even though it is Glock perfection. But I'd rather, I don't know who goes to nationals without a backup, right? Like you almost have to. So that being said, though, I did come up with some merch for y'all. I've got some stickers that I posted on my Instagram, and a bunch of you guys bought them, so I really appreciate that. It is the No One Cares Dry Fire More sticker. I've got them for sale for $5, free shipping. I'll throw my Venmo in the description of the video if you guys want to support free shipping. I'll get that out to you guys, help support me going to nationals. And the other piece of merch I'm actually wearing right now, it is the same design I came up with, and it is the same design on the t-shirt as on the sticker. So the t-shirts are $30, free shipping. If you guys want to support my run to nationals, it's one great way to do it. And if you don't want to do it monetarily, just watching the YouTube videos does a big thing. Send this to somebody, like, subscribe, comment. I love interacting with you guys on the channel. Hopefully I'll have more merch to bring out to you guys. I've got another design in the works from something I said in another video. Then I'll probably make a sticker and a t-shirt combo if this does well. And if you guys have any cool ideas for merch that I can make, that is what I do for a living. I help manage and run an e-commerce store for Farm Truck and Asian. So I'm kind of doing it for myself in the gun world. That is it out here today for me and this Glock Gen 6. We'll see y'all next time out here at the range.